Hello, this is Patrick with Lone Wolf Software. Today's video is going to show you how to resolve some user DSN issues for Contact Wolf, our contact management software. So Contact Wolf is a relational database. It uses an Odbc relational database, which requires something called a UserDSN, which really is just a database registration entry in the registry, which tells Contact Wolf where the database is located. It also can set some privileges, but mostly it tells Contact Wolf where to look for the database. Now, sometimes when you start Contact Wolf, this can occur where you see this little login window here on your screen. Usually it has admin in it, and it basically means you have an issue or a problem with your user DSN. Usually this happens from antivirus software. We've had problems with Norton's, Kaspersky, Bitdefender. Some of them, for some reason, either change or corrupt the user DSN entry in the registry. I'm not sure why. You'd have to contact those companies to understand why that happens. It should not happen. And sometimes people use cleaning programs to try to clean their computer to speed it up. Sometimes these cleaning programs will remove registry entries, and if they remove the Contact Wolf user DSN, this is exactly what you're going to see. Is you're going to see this little window with a login screen because it doesn't know anymore where to look for the database. Now, if you see this little login window and you know where your database was located, and generally when Contact Wolf is installed, it by default puts the database in the app data folder. It's actually the app data. It would be the C app data roaming Lone Wolf Software Contact Wolf folder. You can find it there. The name of the database, the data source is shown to you here. It's CWDB240. The actual database file name is CWDB240.mdb. But if you see this window and you know where the Contact Wolf database is, you can simply click on the database button here, and I'll actually find a different database. But if you go to this select database window, under the directories option here, you can click to open up folders that you have on your computer. In this case, we're going to go to the sample databases, if I can find it. Here we go. Just double click on the folders to open up the files in the folder. You see some files over here that open up on the left side. We're looking for the CWDB240.mdb file. So that's the database file for Contact Wolf. If you just click on it and select it and click OK, then click OK again, suddenly Contact Wolf's going to magically open for you on your screen. So you think the problem's fixed. It's fixed temporarily, but unfortunately, next time you open up Contact Wolf, you're going to probably have to go through this problem again because the user DSN is still corrupt. And you're going to need to reconfigure it or completely remove it to fix this problem. So right now we have Contact Wolf on the screen. It's opening. It's going to work fine. But when you close it, you're probably going to run into this problem again. So what you need to do to permanently fix this problem is you need to go into the control panel. So we're going to open up the control panel here. Now, to open up the control panel on your computer in Windows 10, if you don't know how to find it, just type in control panel in the little search box at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, and then click on the control panel app option. That will open up what you see on your screen here, which is the control panel. So what you want to do is click on System Security, then go to the bottom here and click on Administrative Tools. And then in this Administrative Tools screen, you're going to see two options. Odbc data source is 32-bit, Odbc data source is 64-bit. Now, this is a 64-bit computer, and we're running Windows 10, but the database for Contact Wolf is based on a 32-bit system. So that's perfectly fine. Many programs use 32-bit databases on 64-bit computers, so that's not the issue here. But you should have both options, a 32-bit and a 64-bit. 64-bit option is not going to work for this because Contact Wolf uses a 32-bit database. So for some reason, I'm not really sure why, but some people's computers or operating systems, this 32-bit option here is missing, and they'll only have the 64-bit. In that case, I'm going to show you another way to access the 32-bit administrator. After we go through this process here, I'm going to show you how to find that in a different way. But in this case, we have it. So if you just double click on that, it's going to open up the Odbc data source administrator 32-bit. And what we can do here is we can remove the UserDSN or we can reconfigure it. So just scroll down and find the CWDB240 option and click on it once it's selected. Now, in many cases, when the UserDSN is corrupt, you can just remove it. And then when you close the Odbc administrator, if you just restart ContactWolf, it'll automatically recreate that UserDSN back to that default location. So as long as you haven't changed the database location for ContactWolf, it's going to work fine. It'll recreate it, and the UserDSN will be fine and permanently fixed until you use a cleaning program again. So in this case, you can just click the remove button. It's going to give you an option here to confirm removal of this UserDSN entry. Just click yes and then click yes again. We're not going to do it right now, but just click yes and then yes again to close the administrator. Then restart ContactWolf, and most likely it'll be fixed and you're good to go. In this case, we're going to say no. Now, the other option is to reconfigure it. Now, you can actually access the ContactWolf database file, which is cwdb240.mdb, in any folder location on your computer. So you can copy and paste it from one folder to another folder, but then you're going to need to reconfigure the UserDSN to point to the new folder. And in this case, you can do it from here by just clicking on the configure button. And you can see here it has the data source name, which is CWDB240. Just click on the select button, and you can open up any folder on your computer. And when you open it up, you're going to see the CWDB240 file pop up. You can just click it, click OK to close all the other windows in the administrator, restart ContactWolf, and now the UserDSN has been set to access the ContactWolf database file in this new location that you selected here. So that's one way to also fix UserDSN problems, is just to reconfigure it, reselect the CWDB240.mdb file, and you're good to go again. So that's another thing you can do. Now, this usually will resolve any of these UserDSN problems through the Odbc Data Source Administrator 32-bit. Now, as I said previously, sometimes this 32-bit option is not available on the computer. So one thing you can do is you can open up File Explorer. Now, I'm going to open it up here now. You can just click on, usually you can click on, right-click on the Start button and just go up and select File Explorer to start File Explorer. Here we have File Explorer, which just shows you all the files and folders on the computer. So if you double-click on the C, which is the master drive, and then you go down and you click on Windows, double-click on Windows to open it up. Scroll down again to kind of to the bottom, and you want to find this strangely named folder. I have no idea why Microsoft named it this, but it's syswow64. If you double-click on that, it's going to open up a lot of folders and a bunch of files that are on your computer, and a lot of them are 32-bit oriented files. So you're going to need to scroll all the way down until you get to the Odbc. Let's see. We'll see if we can find it. It's always hard to find this because it's one of many files. So what you want to do is find the Odbc AD32 file. And I'm having trouble finding it myself here. So here it is, Odbc AD32.exe. I won't even bother to mention why it's named that. But anyway, find this file, Odbc AD32.exe. Double click on it. And again, now we see it's opened up the 32-bit administrator. This file will be on your computer. Even if that 32-bit option is missing in Control Panel, you can always access it this way. It's a little bit more time-consuming, kind of a pain, but you can do it this way. And now you have the same Odbc 32-bit administrator, and you can go through the same process of clicking on it and removing it, or if you don't want to remove it, you can reconfigure it. And again, this should resolve most UserDSN problems. So let me cancel out of this. And that's another way to find this option. Now, last thing I want to mention is in ContactWolf, we'll open up ContactWolf. You can change the database location to anywhere you want to go, and also find out where it's located or where it's currently being accessed by clicking on the File menu option here at the top and clicking on the Change Database Location. Now, this will show you the name of the database file, CWDB240.mdb, and the current location that's being accessed on your computer. Now, you can change this folder location to any folder on your computer by just simply clicking yes, and then you can select wherever you want just by double clicking on these or opening these up. You can select a different folder and then go through the process, click OK to go through the process, and it'll change the UserDSN. It reconfigures the UserDSN, kind of like we did previously in the 32-bit administrator. It changes it to point to this new folder location that you've selected. So this is one way you can change the database location and have it accessed in that new location using this option in Contact Wolf. And it just does basically a reconfiguration behind the scenes without you having to open up the 32-bit administrator. So that's another option that you have. But in this case, you will need to know where that database resides. So that's really all there is for the UserDSN issues. And if you follow these instructions, usually you'll be able to resolve 99% of the UserDSN problems. So that's okay. That's all for today's video. And thank you, and watch more videos in the future. Thank you, and bye.